Hey everybody, welcome to an episode of Walk in Faith. I'm excited to be sitting down with Nick Vujicic to discuss a banking alternative, a pro-life fintech. Nick is the co-founder and chief brand ambassador, but he's also Nick. I mean, you have so much on your plate. And the first thing I thought about was how are you taking on another responsibility? I mean, you have so much going on between Nick V Ministries, producing, multiple books, traveling around the world. How did you and why did you decide to take this on?
Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me on your show. To whom much is given, much is expected. And it's not like I woke up one day and said, God, I'd like to be a co founder of a banking platform. It was actually a reaction bathed in prayer that actually I was invited to be a co founder of a banking alternative before I actually experienced what cancel is. Me being canceled culture, uneducated, unaware whatsoever that at any given moment we can become targets. And with 19 million social media fans, I did become a target in 2019 and experienced what cancel culture is firsthand. And was burdened for all the other people who are still unaware of not just cancel culture, but understanding the weaponization of the banking industry in the world, but especially here in the nation, where as a Christian Judeo value-based believer, believing what God says in the Bible, understanding that our banking decision does make a difference with the ripple effect of philanthropic giving through different entities such as our daily bank choice. And so understanding that we are not only targeted, but also can make a difference together for further good impact with like-minded people.
I love that. I sat in at NRB and I listened to the presentation and I walked away saying, you know what? I don't know where my money's going when I go to the bank. And there is a difference, and I'm glad you mentioned it briefly, weaponization and being canceled, because a lot of people say, oh, I'm being canceled. But I mean, I recall that when you told the story, you went into the bank and I'm assuming your accounts were frozen, right? I mean, so now tell me about that and what should where does the money go when I'm going to the bank and making deposits? Where is this money and who benefits from my money and my donations and everything else that in terms of the banking that I do?
Yeah, look, so first and foremost, I woke up one day in April 2019 and my accounts were frozen. I called the bank and they said that they can't talk to me. I said, "What do you mean you can't talk to me? I'm talking to you now. You're talking to me. What do you mean you can't talk to me?" They said, "We can't talk to you. And there's a letter coming." I said, "Can you tell me what the letter is?" "No, we can't talk to you. A letter is coming." And they basically hung up on me. I went to the branch, the local branch, and I know the manager there. I've known them for quite a while. I said, "This and this is happening." She's like, "I've never heard of that before. Let me call head office." And they basically told her that they can't talk to her and she can't talk to me. So she says, "They're not talking to me. I can't talk to you, and you need to leave the premise." And I'm like, "What is going on?" And so the letter came and it said, "Dear customer, we reviewed who you are. We don't want you as our client. You've got 30 days to find another bank, or we will actually take your cash." And for me, as a migrant from Australia, came here on a work visa, got my green card, employing many people. Capitalism, America, that ideology. I mean, I was just dumbfounded on that day. And not knowing anyone else with a similar experience obviously was quite scary. But as far as well, then the education and awareness of larger banks, we're very proud about how they do philanthropically give to nonprofit organizations that are not biblically aligned, such as Planned Parenthood, abortion organization providers, and Planned Parenthood now being as well the biggest funder, from what I understand, of hormone altering drugs for minors in our country. And so for me, people call me a conservative Christian. I read the Bible and I don't see the word conservative once. You either believe or you don't. And so understanding that, yes, we can donate to causes that are aligned to our biblical beliefs, but understanding that your banking daily choice, they make money off the deposits as a private company. They can choose who they cancel or not cancel. Five state legislatures have just passed in the last couple of months that banks are no longer able to cancel you for no cause. But still, under the Constitution of America, they decide where their profit goes, obviously in their pocket, but they want to give to nonprofits, which actually are some large banks give to very large nonprofit organizations that are very contradictory and contrary to biblical beliefs. So the idea here, Craig, is that ProLife FinTech is the tip of the spear, a pioneering banking alternative where we come together and 10% net goes to biblically aligned nonprofit organizations that would honor the Lord in our banking decisions.
Interesting. So, you know, I mean, we see now I mean, you know, you can't escape Bitcoin, right? And we see that money is being devalued constantly. So how does someone like, you know, FinTech, how do they compete with, you know, big companies or big banks or, you know, increasing interest rates?
Yeah, so there's a multifaceted thing here. So number one, as far as waiting for a stable coin to come in, that's going to be every person in the banking industry is looking at what is happening and different cryptocurrencies popping up. You've also got Kevin Freeman, though, in a beautiful way, bringing in a pioneering transactional gold ability where gold would no longer be seen as an asset subject to capital gains, but actually legal tender, which is something that under the Constitution is interesting. So all of a sudden, the slowest growing, morphing, revolutionary industry of banking is morphing really quick and it's getting faster and faster. So fintech itself, Craig, is financial technology where basically it's an online banking platform where we have a charter sponsor, Regent Bank,
Hmm.
that actually has the FDIC insurance coverage for the customers of them and us. And we're simply a digital front facing door, if you will, online, where we have this agreement with them as well. And so you can open up your personal checking, savings, money market accounts, and also Regent Bank offers corporate trust and, you know, for nonprofit organizations, whatever other accounts that we can't provide, we have a referral agreement with Regent, and it's all at ProLifeFintech.com. And so, as far as where your banking dollars is deposited, those people make money, and then they choose to fund whatever they fund. And if you look at BlackRock as well in wealth management, it's actually the entire financial ecosystem where we believe that this is the beginning of gathering like-minded bankers, wealth managers, almost like a Christian financial association or affiliation, where in the whole financial industry, we're going to be saying, now that we know how um, evil things in our mind, in our values are being funded, we're now taking control and responsibility in making profits and really making great stewardship decisions for kingdom impact. And then obviously that last part of your question has to do with profit margin subject to the variability of rates and interest rates. And so you know, the banking crisis is not, you know, new to our world. We all have ups and downs. I have a background in finance and accounting. We have an incredible experienced board in the banking sector, decades and decades of experience. We have Charles White there and Sean Copeland from Regent Bank there. And so, you know, you ride any business wave in any industrial sector, if you will. You know, there will be ups and downs, but everyone does need a bank
Yes.
to you know. And so the idea is that the idea is yes, we will be profitable, but the greatest treasure is understanding the gathering of God's wealth under the stewardship of Christians, wherein we would be good stewards as Christians with God's wealth, and making the biggest impact that we can help unexpected pregnancies, and the women still choose life, and helping the human trafficked, and helping the foster and adoption list be eradicated in our country by simply the church becoming the church and understanding the power of our banking decisions together.
That's a great point. I mean, and that's one of the concerns, and you addressed it, the FDIC, that the money is backed, and like you said, Regent Bank, which is a larger bank, is so you're affiliated with them, which is was of course would always be a concern. And you made so many great points, and the one too that I mean, well, of course we know President Trump. I mean, he said about how the banking industry discriminates against Christians, but I noticed too as a Christian we don't all, do business with each other. And I think about it, I go to NRB and I see that, we try to, but imagine if we all, before I made before I hired a contractor, before I hired an accountant, I was to look at his values and his beliefs before just Googling them. And I always hire contractors that are biblically based. And my wife says, "Why do you do that?" And I'm like, "Why wouldn't I?" That's so in terms of banking, it's something I never thought about. I go to the bank because it's close and local. And I remember recently just sitting there, and I am uncomfortable when I talk about what I do. My company is called God's Plan Productions. I mean, there's no escaping that. But if I sit there and I say, I want to take a loan out, and they say why, and I start to discuss the reason behind it, will they believe? Will they be inspired by what I'm saying, or would I be discriminated against? I mean, and a bank, like not a bank, but the alternative to banking and what you've created. I'm assuming if I came in or if I emailed someone in your part of region or part of FinTech, I would feel comfortable having that conversation how I want to glorify the kingdom, right, Nick?
Amen. And we'd support you in that. And obviously, at the same time, we would not want to help someone whose business is in strip clubs and he wants a loan to put more strip clubs on planet Earth. And so we don't want that. And so under the Constitution of America, we'd be understanding the alignment there to really honor the Lord. And I think we haven't even scratched the surface in the positive aspect of what this could really, really mean if we did come together, every church, every school, and every Christian family. And on the other end as well, I've got 4 companies, and you've got a P&L at the end of each year. What we don't understand is if your company banks with some large banks that do give to hormone altering drugs for minors and propaganda for pornography. I mean, do you know that there's $100 million a year that's pumped to bring in more pornography pro things in our country? It's unbelievable. And so this is where the line is drawn.
Yes.
Where can we draw the line where we stop, this ability for the devil? The devil's bigger than us, but greater is Jesus in us than anyone in the world. And I think this is the signs of the times that we're living in, where we draw the line and we say, you know what, now that we do know this, we don't want extra things that in that P&L is not on paper, but we want more of the unborn born. We want more foster kids finding a home. This is where your values are aligned. And a lot of people will say they're Christian. A lot of people will say that they're a Christian entity. But man, if this just rings clear to the nation, I mean, this could be a very big moving of the needle in our nation that I believe would honor the Lord. And I believe we're on the precipice, if I can just say this, of judgment. I believe out of all the nations in the world, Craig, we've been given the most and potentially done the least with that. And it takes a man without arms and legs sometimes to unify the crippled church and actually be the watchman on the wall, blow the trumpet. And when no one listens, get off the wall and go pick up a sword.
Wow, man, you are so inspiring. And whenever I see you and I've listened to you, and of course, following you on social media, but just listening to you and speaking to you today, you impact me. I mean, you inspire so many people. And like you said, we need that call to action. I mean, think about this too. How many people work in, say, secular jobs and they're putting all this money in the 401k, 503b, and they have no idea what companies they're investing in, what stocks, I get 10%, but that 10% versus selling your soul, or you're investing in a company that you don't agree with or believe in, but I'm making a profit. So like you said, am I a Christian just on Sundays, or am I a Christian because I truly believe in the Word of God? It's a question that we need to ask ourselves, because everything you've laid out and on your website too. And if you look up, I think in Ireland, the fintech sort of this new technology is advancing, and this is not something that's new, but I'm assuming the technology that you guys created is superior, or at least just as good as say Ally or any other alternative banking system, right?
Yeah, well, look, we're on par with all the regulatory measures that would be needed and all the security measures that would be needed, and a lot of that actually is on Regent. We do have a software third party that enables us to do that, but we're basically one entity of being on par in the banking industry, and we do believe that in the coming months and coming year that we will not only just continue to be on par, but we want to get ahead. We don't believe that fintech is going anywhere, but continuing to grow. We need to keep up with the morphing and the different tectonic plates of crypto and so forth. And so, no, we believe that this is something bigger, much bigger than a fintech. We one day want to expand in a brick and mortar one day as well. Just to have that there. There are some people still, Craig, who are still adopting this idea of only online banking,
That's
and
me.
there are some
That's me. I
there are
still
some
go to the
old
bank.
school people like, no, but where's your front door? I want a front door. I'm like, well, we got region. They're like, no, we want a front. So we feel that's part of that. And then the wealth management. I mean, imagine all the wealth management, clients as well that eventually will be able to broker deals with like-minded affiliates. And the dream here is that we do align and unify with approximately 150 like-minded bankers, because it's not about one banking party or entity. It's all of us getting together and really making a stand for God, and in all humility, in all excitement as well. And it doesn't come without opposition. I always tell people that it gets hot sometimes when you stand in front of the gates of hell and redirect traffic. And I'll tell you right now, money is what makes the world go round, and which means in evil, you take the money away, less evil theoretically, but put all that money towards kingdom-minded people could be really, really big. And I believe this is the heart of Jesus. He wants us to be one.
I love that. No, you're right. Even just the wealth management section. And I do like to go to the bank. I physically go to the bank. I talk to the girls. It's like my wife's like, "What do you do?" I enjoy it, but I get it. Not every bank still has brick and mortar, but really inspiring. I'm really, you gave me a lot to reflect on. I mean, I think I can do without the brick and mortar, and I'd rather support a bank that I know where the money's going. I know, like you said, 10% supports not-for-profits, same mindset, same, vision, same values, which is truly important to me and should be to every Christian and every believer. How can people find out more about fintech?
Yeah, go to ProLifeFintech.com, check it out. There's a couple videos. You can get to know us, and a highlight of our grand opening that we did have in March. We had Charlie Kirk there. We had Jacob Boyens there. Kevin Freeman was there. We all kind of did a speech there, and it was a celebratory moment. But there's a lot of information there about products. You've got the personal checking, savings, money market accounts as well as then when you click on the top right to open an account, you'll also see a different option for business account, which takes you straight to Regent Bank. And you can open up that type of account there and refer with the ear tag there. And we have this incredible future ahead of us. And I really believe, especially with Gen Z,
Mm.
being one of the more sensitive to values, feelings, and alignment, in topics that I think that our older generation are not really talking about from the pulpit. I think that compassion and mission mindedness of this next generation kind of gives me an optimistic hope of the future. And I think the financial institution of any kind is grounds and foundation for the people of God to come together and go take back territory.
I agree. I think that generation is searching for something, and then what that is Christ. Nick, you are truly inspiring. What's next for you, Nick? What are you going to add on to your plate? Another, I know you have a documentary coming out. You have movies, TV shows. What else are you doing?
We have we're excited about Nick V Ministries. If I could just mention this, this is our 20th anniversary right now. This year we have our 20th anniversary celebration gala on the 16th of November, and we've used a total of 16 million over 20 years, which is roughly $750,000 a year, to reach 900 million people digitally in the world with the gospel of Jesus, 11 million people face to face, of which 1.8 million gave their life to Jesus. And so we are so thankful that it's less than 3 cents a soul who'd heard about Jesus. And we're excited about Nick V Ministries. And nickvministries.org actually, Craig, has a heat map of that celebratory campaign. And if you'd want to learn more about a good place to invest in heavenly returns and helping us to continue to stand in front of the gates of hell and redirect traffic, check out nickvministries.org.
Thank you, Nick, so much. And I advise people to log on to his website, also log on to FinTech and look at his social media and become a 19th million. You have 19, you have 18 million followers, and now maybe you'll have 19 after people watch this episode. Nick, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Craig.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Walk in Faith. Always remember you have the ability to inspire and evangelize your words and actions. God bless you.